highest rated and best paladin to ever walk these earth, to ever grace these lands. 43-time rank 1, 13 rank 1s in one season, playing with the worst gear and the worst players to ever exist in the worst class, but I shall shine throughout time and smite down all evil. I'm going to be doing an HPAL guide starting with this game. Obviously, this game is going to be hell on earth, but I'm going to explain the game as we go, and I'm going to be doing a guide on how to fight these comps and what to do, where to position. Right now, I'm going to be running in to a better position. Always want to get up, always want to pre-dispel too, and I'm going to hodge this guy when he comes by. Okay, I can't hodge him now though, but I'm going to preemptively give him big dam, and I'm going to thing him here. Now, the druid's going to want to come in after this in a Seki owned and bash me. He's going to stun me into a fear here, and I can't pre-sack it, unfortunately. He's going to probably die in the... He's rounding. He's not walling. He needs a wall right here. He's getting bolted, but he's retarded. Yep, complete retard. Complete retard. I should immediately kick him from the group. I was going to pre-sack, but then he ran out of my range, so there's nothing I can do. And then the pre-stun me when he was completely line of sight because he's cheating, obviously. What if I would smash this fucking kid's head in? I'm going to kick this Ellie now. Oh my god, it's so depressing. And by the way, this guy, just quit the game and don't play it because there's no point in playing. There's no point in playing with the worst players to ever live. Now it's back to Group Finder. Holy fuck, oh bro, I would do things, I don't understand the things I would do to this fucking Ellie Shaman. Oh, it just stands in the middle of the map. Literally, he's at a pillar and runs to the middle of the map for no reason and makes it so I can't pre-sack him because of the positioning that he's in. Oh my god. Oh my god, I kicked the warrior too. He's the worst of the worst too. Holy fucking shit, report them both. So that's the whole guide. Go into an arena, make sure your teammates are as mentally retarded as possible, and then kick them from the group immediately. Oh my god, doesn't press a wall, doesn't do a single thing, just stands there AFK, and there's nothing I can do. And if I trinket sack at that point, then it's insanely bad to do. Because then I have no trinket sack when I actually need it, and I can't pre-sack because the Ellie's positioning. I'd slip. Oh, bro, oh my god, there's the worst players to ever live. Make sure to report him a second time here. There's the second report there. Oh, and there's nothing I could have done differently either because the Ellie's awful positioning made it so I can't position without getting CC'd for free. Oh my god, worst player, and now I have no denounce, so I can't even kill these mobs. I'm so mad I don't even want to make my video because I hate this game. I hate these people. This is why I don't make WoW videos. There's no reason to make WoW videos. WoW videos are a joke. I'm gonna go back to making my legendary political videos that are actually useful. Oh my god, hell on earth. WoW is hell on earth. Holy fuck. So anyway, I'm gonna go over the talents. Dude, what a horrible shaman. Oh my god, that fucking kid is... Bro, I'd fucking... Dude, these people, bro, I wish I could torture these people. I wish I could torture them. Oh my god, anyway. I don't even know why I'm making an HPAL guide. Nothing's changed. The entire fucking expansion is complete garbage. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Oh. I mean, there's literally nothing new. Everything's exactly the same, so what's the point of making an HPAL guide? Oh my god, just to get extra views, I guess. Alright, so HPAL guide, everything's exactly the same. HPAL is the worst healer. Shouldn't play it anyways. Herald of the Mice is unplayable, and also Light Mice is unplayable. Now, with Light Mice, they made it so... Dude, what the... They literally just completely took out my... Oh my god, so annoying. No, they literally... Okay. With Lightsmith... These people are so bad. With Lightsmith, you can't play it anymore unless you have full gear. So you can't even try it unless you have full gear. Now, Holy Prism and Barrier of Faith. Holy Prism is going to be better in times where you need, like, more... It's, like, more burst healing, whereas Barrier of Faith is more sustained. And when you need to focus on single target healing, but I almost always run Holy Prism because it's more fun to use. And it does more healing overall, whereas the Barrier of Faith might do more healing overall if you get to cast a lot of Holy Lights and stuff like that, but you'll actually run out of mana too. Got gonna make sure to report all these people. Man, I want the worst things to happen to like 99% of people in the war. The worst people, worst greasy, slimy rat peasants who just harbor sweat in their faces and eat lint out of their own stomachs. So as light mice, as Slightsmith, you're gonna want to play talents. You're going to want to play Hand of Divinity instead of Divine Fave because you're never going to be able to get a Divine Fave off. You're always global starved as this dog shit spec. And like I said, you're not going to be able to play unless you have full gear. So you need full gear. That's the first thing you need. And then you just copy the spec. And then I would use Hand of Divinity because you just don't have the globals to actually get Divine Faves off. And you'll get CS'd. And then if you ever fall behind on globals, then you immediately lose the game. You obviously run melee wings, so you get the extra weapon up. They changed weapon though, so that when you put up a weapon on yourself, weapon on the target or whatever, this weapon only procs once now, and it doesn't proc when you're in CC. So if I go into a Hodge, and then the weapon is on my shaman or whoever the brain dead peasant that I'm healing, it's not going to proc when I'm in CC, and it's only going to proc at 40% health. If I'm not in CC, and it's only going to proc once. And if they're already below 40% health, it's not going to proc. And if what you're asking what I mean by procking, this weapon right here, it procs for like 30% of someone's health when you go below 40% health. So if you have the weapon up or preemptively, then it will proc for like 30% of the person's health. It's not even close to enough healing. Overall, I think Herald of the Mice is slightly better, but it depends on what you're fighting. If you're fighting more burst classes, then potentially Light Mice is better because, for example, like Feral Druid, like Mage, or like Mage Warrior, when you go into CC, it's so bad if you don't have, like, I don't know, Holy Bulwark already up. I would say Herald of Mice is like better overall and more overall healing. Like, why won't Blizzard let you do that? Blizzard needs to go out of business. This is everything about them is incompetent, useless trash. It's the most sickening thing of all time. Light Mice you can play in certain situations, maybe in certain comps that you're gonna be playing into. And they of course made it so you only have one bop and one freedom, so you have absolutely no cooldowns. So if you're watching this video, just don't play Paladin. There's no point in playing it. It's unplayable. I'm 43-time rank 1 best Paladin in the entire game. It's completely unplayable. And you have to have perfect rotation. If you ever fall behind in globals, you always want to get Divine Toll on cooldown. You don't want to waste it, but you also want to get it on. You don't want to get it on cooldown, or you want to get it on cooldown as fast as you can at the same time. So it's really bad if your teammate's not taking damage at certain times. You can fall behind on healing just by not using your cooldowns at certain times. It's really annoying. But with Herald of the Mice, you're going to be radiating the light of 1,000 suns across time and space and throughout all eternity. And you're going to want to use Divine Fave. I used to use Hand of Divinity, but now Divine Fave is doing a little bit of healing. So, wow, they actually nerfed it even harder. Holy sh... They actually made it... Oh my god, they actually nerfed this even harder? What the... it used to be, 50%? And then they nerfed it to 20% when Divine Fave was already terrible. Maybe I won't run this. What the... And they nerfed this too, right? This was 50... Wow. Oh my god, Blizzard is a joke. No wonder why HPAL is a joke. Yeah, just don't play HPAL. They nerfed Divine Fave even more. Now, the last time I looked at it, healing of your next Holy Light and Flash of Light is increased by 20%. It used to be 50%. What a joke. What a joke. And Divine Fave was already terrible. What a joke. The main thing you have to do when you're playing Herald of the Mice is you need to be always keeping up your Dawn Lights. Get your Dawn Lights up. You cast Holy Prism, then you're going to have 30 seconds of Dawn Lights, and you get a Divine Purpose for 15 seconds. So you always want to use their Divine Purpose. The problem with this spec too is you sometimes don't have, or a lot of the times don't have enough healing with Dawn Light. So then you have to put up a Dawn Light immediately, and they don't stack. So then you waste the healing of Dawn Light, which really sucks, and that's like all your healing as the spec. And if you fall behind on your Maestro's Deliverance, then and you can't, you don't have time to cast it. For example, if you get opened on by a rogue mage in the opener and can't keep up your Maestro's Deliverance, and you get completely and utterly screwed, and you're not able to get up your Maestro's Deliverance because it's a 2-second cast. It's a joke. 2-second cast, you'll never be able to get it up, and then you're behind for the rest of the game. You can never top your team, and then you're behind on your Dawn Lights. So one of the most important things is getting your Maestro's Deliverance up, but it's really hard versus good teams, especially if they have micro CCs or can CC you randomly. Or you need it. It sucks, for example, if you're pushing in for CC, and this is one of the most important things as a Pally, if you're pushing in for CC as this spec, and then you get clotheslined in any CC at all, and you don't have your Maestro's Deliverance up, you basically just lose the game immediately. But at the same time, if you get your Maestro's Deliverance up during your CC chain, then you waste your Maestro's Deliverance. So it's a joke. The way HPAL plays is just absolutely terrible. And of course, you need to extend your Maestro's Deliverance by casting Holy Lights and Holy Shocks. Each Holy Light extends your Maestro's Deliverance by 8 seconds, and each Holy Shock extends your Maestro's Deliverance by like 1.5 or 2 seconds. I don't play Improved Blessing and Protection because you just don't even live long enough, and you only have one bop now. It's not worth it. I go into everything that's going to give me as much healing as possible because HPALs are so low on healing and just so insanely terrible. And the problem with Herald of the Mice spec, the Herald of the Sun, is that you're going to run out of mana too. As the other spec, you're not going to run out of mana as easy, but you won't have as much healing, and you need to do more sustained healing. Now I'm going to go into the Rogue Mage game that I just played, and I'm going to show you guys the Rogue Mage game. Let me see ya. Because I'm going to show you guys the gameplay I did there, because at least it was like a full game where I could actually show you the game. But of course, they're going to make it as hard as possible for the Maestro to use technology, and then I'm going to probably smash my computer. Yep, I'm going to smash my computer soon. Here it is. Okay, now I got to go back in my YouTube.
It's not a hobby.
This is where I wish I had an editor, but that's not possible to find. So I'm going to my game right now. And then, okay, here's my Rogue Mage game. So I'm playing Rogue Mage into, I'm playing Rogue Mage into, DH Warrior. And this is the easiest win for us, but of course, this is a backpedaling, pudgy bald dwarf who can't breathe on his own and has tubby wrists and breaks his cankles every time he walks. And this is a backpedaling rogue with literally negative win-loss ratio never seen by the likes of mankind. So let's watch. I'm going to go through the game and explain it to you and what I do to win the game. And let's get to the beginning here. So I'm Herald of the Mice right now. I want to take blind because I'm playing Rogue Mage. Wait, have I been making this guide for 45 minutes? Oh, no, there's no way. So this is the problem. We're doing RCC here, so I don't really want to get up my Maestro's Deliverance yet. But now they got out of their CC because my rogue's completely clueless and didn't cheap shot the warrior, and then my rogue didn't kidney shot the DH, and the rogue's sitting there backpedaling doing nothing. So now we're completely screwed for no reason, and now I don't have my Maestro's Deliverance up because this should have been our setup, but because my rogue's mentally retarded with an IQ of a negative Dunroach from the Crustaceous period, it made it so I didn't get to have my Maestro's Deliverance up. Because normally what we would do a setup where we would cheap shot both, or cheap shot, kidney shot, and DB sheep the priest. But since my rogue's too clueless to do that, we're going to be in big trouble because I won't be able to get my thing up. And then my mage, of course, is going to line me. And right now I get a Searing Glare off, but somehow it's just not enough to... Because he lines me right here. Look at this idiot mage. Lines me, does everything he can in his power to line me. Then I'm global starved. And now I want to still get my Maestro's Deliverance up, but it takes a 2-second cast. And Sack's not a cooldown, so I use Sack on my mage, but it's not going to be enough to actually keep him alive because he wants to line of sight me for no reason at all, making it impossible for me. He should be in prison for the rest of his worthless life, sucking the juice from a rotten communist potato for this. So they get us caught, and then he blocks too because he's mentally challenged. I didn't have an instant cast Holy Shock here on Forge because my Holy Shocks are a joke, and it's not a cooldown. So we have to use every single cooldown here because he wants to line of sight me, and the rogue doesn't want to press Cheap Shot because they're backpedaling inbreds who literally can't open a door not by themselves. So now I'm insanely mad because this guy used block for no reason. And if we lose the game, then I'm going to lose the 30 rating because they're all 1600 CR and I'm 2200 CR because I'm the highest rated and best Paladin game playing with group finder players. I shouldn't even consider group finder players. They're like gnats, or they're like malformed zygotes or amphibia or one-celled organisms. But so now my show is upset, so he's saying they're so goddamn insanely terrible. So the next thing I want to do is push into Hodge's guy, but he's on cheap shot DR for no reason whatsoever because he triple DR cheap shot him. So I'm pushing in, and he's ultimate pentencing now. I couldn't get there because I'm stunned now. So I'm pushing into Hodge's guy right now. Soon. But I gotta keep myself up right now. So I'm doing perfect global usage, keeping my Maestro's Deliverance up for as long as I can. And I'm slowing them right now. And I'm pre-denouncing them now because right now he's on DR, and these guys, it's going to be a perfect time for me to Hodge really soon here. And I think he's on blind DR because he decided to DB him. I'm not sure though, because I can't see the priest right here. So now I baited the fade there. Now I have a full Hodge, and now I want to blind him off that. But he's sheeping him. So I watch that he's sheeping him, so I don't blind, because you don't want to sheep blind overlap. I'm the best Paladin game. Every other Paladin obviously would have blinded all of that. And also you don't want to blind here because then I'm just going to blind the bleeds off the target. For some reason, the guy kidney shot the warrior for some reason, even though we're on the DH, even though we should be on the warrior. I don't understand why this kid was even born. This is why abortion should be legal for people like this only. My show always wants to use globals, so the problem here is I don't have sack, so I'm forced to bubble here. I have no way to outplay this guy unless I didn't use cons here. I should have ran through it, but I have no time because this guy has no caught, no block, so I can't really run back up this ramp here, unfortunately. So now I'm using all my instincts because I want to get a Searing Glare off here because they're all stacked. So I get a double Searing Glare here, a triple Searing Glare here, and then I DR. So he DBs him into sheep, and I know he's going to trinket here. So I knew he was going to trinket here. I was going to blind his trinket, but it's on DR, and he already used Nether Walk. So we're not going to get any more cooldowns here, so there's no reason for me to blind, so I don't blind. But I have Hodge because I'm like, oh, maybe that will be enough, and they'll panic and somehow use even more cooldowns like Darkness or something like that. Because sometimes it's like he corroded here, so now it's like worth it for me to half Hodge. And he corroded on top of it, unfortunately, but... So ended up not being worth it, but it was semi-decent because they got really low. It's always good to keep them low, and it keeps the pressure off us too. You see where I had one Dawn Light up right there, unfortunately, and I ended up having to use a second Dawn Light while the other Dawn Light was still up, and it doesn't stack. So then I waste my Dawn Light healing, which sucks, but I have no choice because I have to heal, and the only way you can heal is with Eternal Flame, and Eternal Flame puts up Dawn Light. So it sucks that HPAL works that way. It's an insane joke. So my Mage, of course, 0 IQ, has no idea where to kite. Everyone is lining me, no idea where this rogue's going. My rogue's running behind a pillar right here for some reason, at full health. No one knows why he's doing that. My Mage is kiting the opposite way. These people are so bad. Bro. I have a perfect bop there because it's on Spear and it's on Essence Break. That's a perfect bop, so I get double value out of that. Of course, the Priest purges the first global because every other class is insanely good compared to Paladin, which is completely obsolete. So in this scenario, they're most likely going to CC me here with something because they're all on top of me. Even if you don't get CC'd, if you do get CC'd, then you're going to have to trinket immediately, so it's worth it to press sack here. So yeah, we got stunned there, so there's always going to be a CC that hits you. There's always going to be something, and it's going to be almost impossible to predict what it's going to be, whether it's going to be a Chaos Nova or a Fell Eruption or a random fear that's far away, even when you don't think you can be feared. Like right here, you shouldn't be able to fear me, but he probably can because of luck. So if you don't sack here, then we just lose the game, or I have to press Trinket, and then we probably lose the game anyway. So it's always good in these situations to be getting Searing Glares off their cheap shots. So you want to wait to the end of cheap shots, get triple Searing Glares, and then Judgment in between, and then keep Denounce on them whenever you can. I'm the only pally who runs Denounce because I'm the only pally who's the best, who can actually get those globals off. All the other pallies will never be able to get Denounce globals off because they're not good enough. So I make sure that they're out of the Frost Nova and they're out of the cheap shot before I use my Searing Glare. Now I'm denouncing them out of that. So If they can't crit, if they're in a cheap shot, then into a Nova, and then into a Searing Glare, and then into a Denounce, they almost cannot do any damage. So I get a good blind, so they're getting some pressure. We're getting some pressure here. Now I'm denouncing again because I have wings up. And during wings, I could either be healing this guy at 100% for no reason, or I could be doing extra damage. So I may want to make sure to do extra damage during my wings. My mage should be getting a sheep right now, but he's terrible. Or he should be kiting away. He doesn't do either of these things because he's trash. So my mage blinks the opposite way, doing the worst thing he could possibly do. The worst thing he could possibly do. So he could do the thing where he stands here and he waddles towards me. That's like pretty bad, but not the worst thing. He could blink this way, which would be great, which means the warrior and the DH have to run off the pillar and then he can sheep the priest. Or he can blink and try to sheep the priest. He does the absolute worst thing that he could do, which is blink behind a pillar, don't sheep the priest, in line of sight me. Mentally retarded.
Where are you going? Holy fuck. Run that right here, actually, hold that for my healing here. Cheap shot him there, and DR Hodge, I guess. If he cheaped here, we just win the game, but he's retarded, so...
This guy is so bad, man. And a lot of the times I have Divine Fave up, but I don't have time to cast Divine Fave 90% of the game because the priest will be running at me for a fear. I have to const down to max dam to slow him. I don't have the globals to do it because my die is dying in the globals. And I'll actually have to just run away and try to use instant cast and use judgment instead with my greater judgment, which will absorb more damage because I don't even have the global to cast the Divine Fave because they nerfed Divine Fave into the ground 30 expansions ago and haven't buffed it because they want to make HPAL more worthless than a level 1 bald stubby gnome. So the priest is running at me, so I put a const down for max damage, which slows the priest, so the priest can't get to me. He fades to try to get there. I freed him my mage so he can kite, and I double Searing Glare right after the DB on his I-beam, and I put a const down for max damage so they can't get to him. It's perfect HPAL gameplay this entire match. Now I'm denouncing again. If I can get this many denounces off in a game while my mage is playing this bad, I can take control of the game a lot because if they're denounced and they can't crit the entire game, it limits their damage by a lot. And of course I'm doing this with 30 item level below everybody else, by the way. I'm item level 750, everybody's 780. So I give my rogue Blessing of Summer here. Maybe should have given my mage, because my mage seems like he's doing more damage, but you don't really know. They're both really bad, so they weren't on my rogue, so I gave it to him. But it looks like the mage is doing more damage, so he probably would have done more healing, so it might have been better to give to my mage, but either way, it probably would have been close to the same. So I have my blind and Hodge back, which means we can win the game soon. I'm looking like I have to lay on hands my mage soon, but I don't want to until... And my mage decides it's a good idea to randomly blink downstairs because he's mentally retarded. I think he might have had an altar up there, though. So now I got to bait Fade again. And it's tricky. You always want to get... In these situations, you always want to get your healing up first because you know you're going to take a lot of damage, and then you want to make sure to put a const down here. So when the priest tries to fade, you already are global ahead of the game, and the priest can't fear you. But I might be able to get the Hodge without using it. So yeah, I put a const down for max damage just in case. And it helps me a lot. This warrior gets slowed so he can't connect. And because of that, I get a perfect triple Searing Glare here, which is unbelievably good. And I Hodge him off that because he decides to break his own CC, because breaking your own CC as a mage is always the best thing you can do. And then, luckily my rogue is Groating here, which is actually semi-decent in this situation, but I mean, it's insanely easy for him. I don't know, actually, I don't even know where he was before this. He was just backpedaling into a pillar, sucking off a twig in Zimbabwe. And see, it's about 4 minutes into the game, and I'm basically completely out of mana. That's really bad, and you pretty much will never be able to sit down for a drink. You might be able to versus this comp if you're playing with a good rogue mage. If you're playing with a good rogue mage, this game would have already ended though, like in 1 minute. So I'm denouncing again. Keep their damage down. Never want to waste any mana, and dispel heals. So I dispel a lot of the time to get extra healing. Now, my rogue is mentally challenged, so he's going to decide it's a good idea at 30% health with no trinket, no cloak or evasion to run behind this pillar and line me as much as possible. Deserves, obviously, to be sent up a Guantanamo Bay to suck the juice from a rotten communist potato and get his head pressed into a pufferfish's ass. But, so he decides it's a good idea to shadow us up behind the pillar. So now he almost dies and runs the complete opposite way as me. Yeah, and this is why the Maestro gets banned on Twitch, because he has to call people mentally retarded. So I'm doing unhealable damage again because I have my wings up again, so I'm one-shotting them now. And at this point, we can just CS the priest and we can automatically win the game, but my mage hasn't landed a single CS the entire game because he's playing on a tree stump and a typewriter. So I'm just doing max damage to everybody this entire time. You cannot heal through the molestata! And the Maestro, of course, farms him into the ground without even trying. Of course, the Maestro is the highest rated person in the game by far and is carrying these complete and utter soy milk drinkers. I don't even know how to describe these latte-licious swines, these frolicking daisy patch and dung roach enthusiasts, tree bark licking, Laura Ingalls loving. I love Laura Ingalls on a big ass. God, these daisy patch loving little fucking tulip farming sickly gazelles. And I farm them into the ground, achieve victory against all odds, and of course go back to farming. So yeah, that's how you can play H-Pal, Herald of the Mice. Now, into that, Light Mice could potentially be played. Wouldn't be terrible, I don't think. But at the same time, your Rogue is probably going to die if he's not good if you're playing that spec. Because Rogue gets swapped to really easy without passive healing of Eternal Flame with Dawn Light. So, yeah, that's Legendary Maestro H-Pal guide. Hopefully you guys liked it. And of course, like, share, and subscribe. And really quick, just want to show you the Legendary Maestro Big Damn hoodie line. Mice merch, ancient mice merch. This is the most majestic God-tiered clothing line of all time. 5% off with code Maestro for all subscribers. Maestro has a bunch of legendary mugs, big-titted vixen outfits for your juicy grannies. Legendary shirts with cool designs. These sweatshirts, like I said, could keep you warm in a Siberian winter. The ancient scribes of light in the ancient tomb, King Tut Tomb of Light on the Persian Silk Road of Light on the way to Constantinople actually made these sweatshirts with thread count of 200,000. So they literally can't rip. They actually like 2-inch thick. Actually couldn't believe how good quality they are. And of course I have more stuff. I have tanky tees, legendary tanky tees. Against all odds, the light shall guide your way, and watch over you always. And the legendary brand of the raccoon on everything. My hoodies and sweatshirts are pretty cool too, so check those out. And with that, the Maestro never gives up.